Welcome to Introverted and Bold, how Dag Hammarskjöld harnessed quiet strength to lead. Dag Hammarskjöld was not a typical leader. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, nor was he interested in political theatrics. Instead, he led with depth, integrity, and quiet confidence, qualities that made him one of the most respected diplomats of the 20th century. Today, we'll explore how his introverted and bold leadership style helped him navigate global crises, international negotiations, and political pressures, and why his approach is more relevant than ever in today's world. We'll examine how his self discipline, reflective nature, and unwavering ethical stance shaped his decisions and helped him maintain stability in turbulent times. By the end of this presentation, you'll see how Hammarskjöld's leadership style offers timeless lessons for anyone, whether in politics, business, or personal leadership. Anyone who seeks to lead with thoughtfulness and integrity. Before we dive in case you're new to this channel or you're new to my work, first of all, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. My name is Sarah Causey, and I'm the owner of Causey Consulting LLC. I'm also the author of Dag's biography, Decoding the Unicorn, A New Look at Dag Hammarskjöld, which you can find, of course, on Amazon.com if you're so inclined. It's a compelling exploration of how one of history's most inspiring leaders mastered the art of quiet leadership. My background is in HR, staffing, and leadership development. That is my background. Moving forward, I really consider myself to be a writer, a researcher, a creative, and Dag Hammarskjöld's biographer, period. But to give you some backstory, that's it: HR, staffing, and leadership development. I have, I think, a unique perspective about Dag's timeless legacy, and I try to make his lessons accessible to readers, leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers today. My work shines a light on humility, accountability, and the importance of fostering inclusion and cultural sensitivity in leadership. Through my writing, I hope that I inspire other people to lead with purpose and compassion and unlock their full potential. If you're wondering from the last video if Mr. Theodore Fox is with me tonight, yes, indeed, he is. As I've said before, he's much cuter than I am, so if he could give the presentation, we would have hundreds and thousands of downloads, basically overnight. All right, let's get into it. When we think of powerful leaders, we often picture charismatic, I like to put air quotes around that, charismatic, outspoken, and dominant figures. But history has shown us that true strength is not always loud. In fact, I would argue that it's very often not loud at all. Dag Hammarskjöld defied conventional leadership norms by leading with introspection, wisdom, and ethical clarity. His life and work prove that quiet leadership is not about passivity. It's about making deliberate, courageous decisions. Yet even today, quiet leaders are often overlooked. Their strengths, deep listening, careful decision-making, and inner conviction, are often misunderstood as weakness. In reality, these qualities allow leaders to navigate complexity with patience and long-term vision. We must challenge this flawed perception and start recognizing the power of steady, composed, and thoughtful leadership over impulsive, attention-seeking figures. Dag Hammarskjöld's leadership strengths weren't about dominating conversations or commanding attention. They were about thinking deeply, acting deliberately, and standing firm in his convictions. His emotional resilience allowed him to navigate the most intense diplomatic crises without wavering. We have to remember that he was Secretary General in the height of the Cold War. There was a lot of brinksmanship going on, particularly with atomic weapons. People were very scared, rightfully so. He also had to navigate the Suez Crisis and the Congo Crisis. Dag's precise, intentional communication style earned the respect of world leaders, and his uncompromising ethical stance made him a trusted global figure. Not that everyone always agreed with him, but I don't think anybody really besmirched his ethics and his ability to maintain quiet diplomacy. And as has been said before, he was the trustee of many people's secrets, and he upheld that. He was discreet and careful. We could use more of that. In a world where fast reactions often take precedence over careful judgment, Dag's approach is a model for sustainable, thoughtful leadership. His commitment to service rather than personal gain ensured that he stayed focused on the greater good rather than succumbing to political pressures or self interest. Despite his quiet nature, Hammarskjöld was not afraid to make bold moves. And I think that this is one of the things that we need to dispel about introversion in general. Some people still yet think that introversion and shyness are synonymous, but they're not. There are shy extroverts, and there are introverts. I would put myself into this category that are pretty outspoken and direct. They don't hide in the corner. They're not wallflowers. It's just, after I've had a certain amount of interaction with other people, I want to go back to my introvert cave and chill out and relax and have solitude. Teddy and I can hang out together and just have solitude. So we need to get away from this idea that quiet means you're not bold or you're not brave, or that an introverted leader is like Mr. or Miss Milquetoast that's going to cower in the corner. That's not true. Dag had a quiet nature and he was not afraid to make bold moves. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Dag redefined the role of UN Secretary General, stepping beyond administrative duties to become a key negotiator and mediator on the world stage. Dag's behind the scenes diplomacy helped to de escalate conflicts, including the Suez Crisis. He took personal responsibility for UN missions, even when they put him at odds with powerful nations. His courage came not from seeking confrontation, but from standing by his principles, even when the cost was high. One of his most defining moments was his handling of the Congo crisis. He took on the immense challenge of trying to stabilize the region, and he insisted on maintaining UN neutrality despite intense, highly intense pressure from competing global superpowers. This level of bold yet thoughtful leadership is rare, and it is why Dag remains a gold standard in diplomatic history. It's time to redefine leadership. Dag Hammarskjöld showed us that boldness is not about volume. He showed us that boldness is not about volume, it's about unwavering conviction. If you believe in thoughtful, ethical leadership, start by challenging the narrative that louder is automatically better. Apply these principles in your own leadership journey and share Dag's story to inspire the next generation of quiet yet powerful leaders. We need to create spaces where introvert leaders can thrive, ensuring that decision making is rooted in integrity, reflection, and wisdom rather than theatrics and political showmanship. By spreading awareness of Dag's leadership style, we can take an important step toward building a world where thoughtfulness is valued as much as this idea of so-called charisma. True leadership is about making a difference, not just making noise. I would encourage you to share this video as well as checking out Decoding the Unicorn, a new look at Dag Hammarskjöld, available, as I said, on Amazon.com. And last but certainly not least, thank you for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to connect with me, you can do so anytime at decodingtheunicorn.com. See you next time.